Let us talk about enlightenment. It's the enlightenment that can change your life, changes you actually. What is it? Enlightenment is awakening of the mind to realize the incredible power that it has, that otherwise would remain unexplored, untapped. When it is explored, then it will change you. It will find your real identity. So what happens most of the time, we keep this mind dormant. And that's not a guess or somebody's view. It's the result of research of neuroscientists through checking the neurons of the brain by fMRI, a special tool for this purpose. And they find, yes, we don't keep our mind active and awakened. What can make us enlightened to use this mind fully activated and explore it more is by reading books, by education? No. As Lao Tzu, Chinese philosopher, said, knowledge can make you knowledgeable, but it's not making you enlightened. It's the enlightenment that tells you who you are not. It's the enlightenment that tells you what you think you are is assumed self, not your real self. That's so much different. So how we can be enlightened, how much we are enlightened, and what needs to be. The reason that most of us are not having this mind active is not that we don't want to do. It's just because we assume things and that's easier, rather than using our reasons. So when we start using our reasons, that means questioning, arguing with ourselves, whether this fact I'm taking as true and have it in my mindset is examined, and it is really true, or it's just a wrong guess, wrong assumption. So in other words, we can say that we all are under delusions, different type of delusions, without noticing. And that is responsible, those delusions are responsible for our assumed or, in fact, false identity of ourselves. And the most important part of this, important type of this delusion is the delusion of separateness. As great thinkers, philosophers of the world, and even scientists, including Einstein, confirms this and firmly believed, they believed that we are under this assumption, under this delusion, all life, to some extent, all of us. And that is the fear that we are isolated and we have to defend ourselves. Paying attention all the time to our own selfish interest, our ego, and deprive ourselves from learning and exploring more by contacting others. In other words, forgetting the fact that we are not separated, but rather fully involved in others' lives, and they are in us. We are one. And our consciousness, our intellectuality, our understanding of the world will be much better, higher, when we reach others by the mind, intellectual dialogue, and the reaching of minds, meeting of minds, marriage of minds. With open mind, we actually correct ourselves and correct others, and using their spotlights that they use to learn more the realities of the world from other different angles, diverse angles that they can see better than us, and you may see better than the others. When we share this understanding, we get where we are supposed to be, enlightened and intellectual and creative. And that's huge difference between when we remain isolated by our thought and make our mindsets in isolation without mixing with or meeting other minds. And that helps us to keep our mind dynamic instead of dogmatic. So that's a major delusion we have. And learning about that, reaching to oneness, which is a different topic to talk about, that is very interesting, is the first step toward getting enlightened and reaching to our real self. And there are others, of course, which are easier to handle. Those delusions coming from the society, like the beliefs that we have and we have not examined because people have it and we follow it, or we just have it from our previous generation. We haven't examined it. That's another type of delusion, because the way we should see the life is the one that we have to examine, and then we show that, yes, it is what I have observed and I have found it. It could be what I have received from others, having lots of flaws and mistakes, or they are seeing from a different angle. I see from a new one that they haven't seen. So the social taboos, the social belief that over time we find this wrong paradigms, actually, a wrong and deep-seated paradigm, for example, for thousands of years was that women are inferior or simply not able to make any decisions or having any job. Totally wrong. Absolutely a wrong paradigm. But it took thousands of years that we learned it. Or other type of racism is another one. And these are happening in our day-to-day life as well. Other type of delusions, actually assumptions is a major one. We, unless try to remain enlightened and our mind awakened, we assume things on the surface because it's faster, easier, and we avoid any pressure on our mind to think about it. We go by our senses, and they're just very limited tools for learning the world, about the world. Our eyes make a huge mistake telling us a wrong message, and we just go by that. We judge people by their appearance. This is a good example. By even how they dress. Don't you believe that? By the way they talk, by their affiliation to certain groups. We give them a personality that way. By their nationality, their gender, their job, their age. All wrong. That's nothing to do with mind of those people, which is the only identity they have. So these assumptions can be corrected by only our mind becomes more active and awakened. So to make it short, when we awaken our mind and remove these numerous type of paradigms which are to be shifted or changed, or the delusions. We get what we deserve in lifetime. The life becomes meaningful as opposed to what we have today, especially in this consumer society, that gives us the feeling that there's no meaning in life. Is there? Just produce to consume. But by this enlightened mind, we see that we are doing something every day that we haven't done before, and we add to our intellectual assets. We get more conscious, we get more aware, we explore more of this lifetime, which is actually what we are here for. As Martin Heidegger says, we are truth revealer. We are the one that removes the darkness and brings light to life. Actually, we create things by our mind. And that gives us a purpose for life. Plus, it gives us also self-confidence. We see we are having a firm position. We have checked everything as much as we could do. And we are not shaky when we talk, when we act. It also gives us a deeper understanding of all the concepts we have when our mind is not fully enlightened. Example, freedom, which is so much we talk about that. We ignore the fact that we are actually captive of our own if we do not keep our mind enlightened. We go after immediate pleasure, temptation, and these are not us. The only thing that we follow and we are free, as Immanuel Kant said so nicely, is our own reason. Then we are our own boss. We are in control of our life. These are what we get through the enlightenment. The other concepts also will be different. Suppose the happiness. Deep inside we see we are not satisfied when we only go by day-to-day life. Even a success in education or job, occupation, or in financial life, we get sort of temporary joy and that vanishes, gone. Or other type of temporary happiness that we get. But by deeper look and by higher consciousness through the enlightenment, we get the good one, the real happiness, the one that never disappears. When we accomplish something which is not for our selfish interests and it will remain, that gives us a permanent joy, permanent happiness. Other concepts change the same way. We don't have to go one by one mention, but in general, we will have the real concept of family, for example. Family is not just cohabitation. It is a crucible that makes the child a human. Or the concept of moralities. We will be the one that know what is right and wrong, and not the certain belief or certain groups or society. We ourselves understand that cheating or lying or hypocrisy won't work, as Immanuel Kant said. It comes from our own essence. Finally, we should not blame ourselves if average person is not very much enlightened. It's not all our fault. Society today is not encouraging this, but actually encouraging the opposite of it. The self-preservation, only the immediate pleasure in the temptation, and that is the problem. Yeah, and it's a red flag we have to watch. Also, the modern life is not helping much. We should also be aware, and then it will be okay. We are divided by our job and occupations and role we play in the society to make a living. And we think, gradually, we think that's our identity. A plumber thinks, oh, I'm a very good plumber, that's all. No, it's not. We were not born to be a plumber, a dentist, or a housewife, or a teacher, or something else. We were born to be a human, a truth revealer, an intellectual being. An intellectual life is actually major dimension of life, not the first one, which is for self-preservation. Thanks for watching. I hope that we have more of this with your intellectual contribution in other episodes.